It's pretty wild to think that a simple family argument could escalate into something huge, right? Well, picture this 18th century India, where a nasty power struggle inside the ruling Maratha family does exactly that. It spirals completely out of control, sucks in the ever ambitious British East India Company, and kicks off a war that would literally change the course of history.
So, how in the world does a family feud actually blow up into an international war? That's what we're digging into today. We're looking at this perfect storm of raw ambition, a shocking murder, and a desperate grab for power that all led to the First Anglo-Maratha War. It's a story of betrayal that, and I mean this, truly reshaped a subcontinent.
All right, so where does this all kick off? Well, like so many great historical dramas, it starts with a death. But this wasn't just any death. When the leader of the powerful Maratha Empire passed away, it didn't just leave a gap to be filled. It created a total vortex of instability that was about to pull everyone down with it. I mean, just look at how quickly things fell apart here. In 1772, the Peshwa, who is kind of like the prime minister of the Maratha Empire, he dies, and his brother takes his place. Simple enough. But then, not even a year later, that new Peshwa is assassinated by his own uncle, a guy named Raghunath Rao. Raghunath Rao immediately makes himself the new boss. But then, plot twist, the assassinated Peshwa's widow gives birth to a son, a legitimate heir, which throws Raghunath Rao's whole claim into absolute chaos. So this crisis, it didn't just cause confusion. It created factions, each with their own agenda. The whole power struggle quickly morphed into this dangerous three-way standoff. You had a usurper, a loyalist, and an opportunist, and they were all gunning for control of the Maratha Empire. First up, let's meet our main antagonist, if you want to call him that. Raghunath Rao, the usurper. This is a guy whose ambition was so intense that he had his own nephew killed just to grab the throne. But now, with a legitimate baby heir in the picture, his position is incredibly weak. He might have the title, but he definitely doesn't have the right to rule. Okay, so standing against him was the really powerful minister Nana Fanavis. He's our loyalist, the regent. He got a council of 12 powerful chiefs together. They were called the Barabai, which means 12 brothers, to protect the infant heir. Their entire mission was to rule in the baby's name and preserve the true bloodline. And then, kind of lurking in the shadows, you've got the opportunist, the British East India Company, stationed over in Bombay. They're watching all this internal drama unfold, and they don't see a tragedy. Oh no, they see a golden opportunity to expand their own power and influence in the region. So Raghunath Rao can feel his claim to the throne just slipping through his fingers. He makes a really desperate move. He knows he can't take on Nana Fadnavis and that whole council by himself. He needs some serious backup. And he turns to the one group he thinks can lock in his power for good, the English. This desperation leads straight to the Treaty of Surat in 1775. And this is the moment everything changes. The messy family feud officially goes international. To secure his own power, Raghunath Rao makes a deal to basically sell off pieces of the very empire he wants to lead. And just look at how desperate this deal really was. He's handing over prime real estate, like the territories of Salsette and Bassein, plus all the revenue from 2 other districts. And what does he get in return? Just 2,500 soldiers. That's it. He was literally willing to carve up the empire just for a shot at sitting on its throne. But hold on, because here's where the story takes a really weird turn. You'd think the British would all be on the same page, right? Jumping at this chance? Nope. The deal signed by the Bombay office actually kicked off a massive internal conflict inside the East India Company itself. It was basically British versus British. Turns out, the top brass, the British Calcutta Council, was absolutely livid. They saw what the Bombay office did as reckless, totally unauthorized, and just plain stupid. Their first order of business? Kill that treaty immediately. And this is where things get truly absurd. On one side, you have the Bombay office with their treaty, backing the usurper, Raghunath Rao. On the other side, you've got the Calcutta Council making a new treaty with the other guys, the Regency, and trying to pay Raghunath Rao to just go away. The British were literally making opposing deals with both sides of the same conflict. It was absolute chaos. So, did the Bombay office listen to their bosses? Not a chance. They flat out rejected the new treaty from Calcutta and kept protecting Raghunath Rao. This meant their aggressive, war-starting alliance was still very much alive.
completely torpedoing Calcutta's attempt at diplomacy.
So at this point, the situation is an absolute mess. You've got two rival Maratha factions and two rival British policies all swirling around in the same pot. The entire region was a powder keg, and it just needed one final spark to explode into all-out war. And that spark came in 1777 from Nana Fadnavis himself. He's looking at this British mess, and he decides to make a calculated power play. He intentionally breaks his own treaty with Calcutta by giving a port to their biggest European rival, the French. And here's the chain reaction that made war unavoidable. It's like watching dominoes fall. Step 1, Padnavis gives a port to the French. Step 2, this is a direct violation of his deal with Calcutta. Step 3, for the British, a French base on the west coast was a massive strategic threat they just couldn't ignore. And step 4, their response was swift, and it was military. They sent troops marching towards the Maratha capital, Pune. And just like that, it was on. What started as one uncle's ruthless ambition for a throne had, thanks to desperate alliances, British infighting, and some very clever provocations, finally blown up into the First Anglo-Maratha War. So, when you boil it all down, what really started this war? Was it just one man's personal ambition? Or was it something more? Maybe a series of calculated risks taken by every single player in a high-stakes game for power. It really makes you wonder how many of history's biggest wars didn't start with a bang, but with a simple family feud.